She called 911 to report my son breaking into our own house, just because he's black and she couldn't believe we lived in her precious neighborhood. That's how I'd sum up the nightmare that turned our fresh start into a federal case. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below. I bet some of you have your own stories about neighborhoods that weren't as welcoming as they seemed. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see how one racist HOA president learned the hard way that calling 911 on a 15-year-old boy would cost her everything. My name is Terrence Hawkins, Terry to most folks. After 30 years grinding it out as a corporate lawyer in Denver, handling mergers and acquisitions for tech companies, I thought I had life figured out. Good salary, nice car, beautiful family. Then, pancreatic cancer took my wife Denise in just 4 months. And suddenly, none of that mattered anymore. Damon, my 15-year-old son, stopped sleeping, stopped eating. His grades tanked and he quit the basketball team. My daughter Imani was only 13, but she tried to be the strong one, making sandwiches Damon wouldn't eat and pretending she wasn't crying herself to sleep. Denver felt like a museum of memories we couldn't escape. Denise's favorite coffee shop on every corner, her ghost in every room. So when I saw the listing for Cedar Ridge Estates in Lakewood, 40 minutes from the city, good schools, HOA-maintained pool and tennis courts, it felt like a lifeline. July 15th, moving day. The Allied van barely fit down Meadowview Lane. As the movers unloaded our life into the 4-bedroom colonial at 847, I noticed the curtains twitching. Neighbors watching. Some waved, some didn't. That's when I first saw her. Constance Beaumont Fletcher stood on her driveway 2 houses down, iPhone raised, taking photos of our moving truck. Navy blazer in 90-degree heat, pearls at 10 a.m., hair so perfectly styled it could deflect bullets.
She was talking to another woman, gesturing at our house, shaking her head. "Dad, why's that lady taking pictures?" Damon asked. "Maybe she's the welcoming committee," I lied. An older Asian man walked over from next door, hand extended. "Ben Nakamura, retired from Lockheed. Welcome to the neighborhood." "Terry Hawkins, this is my son, Damon." Ben's smile was genuine. "Good to have you. Fair warning, that's Constance over there, HOA president. She's particular about rules." "Every neighborhood's got one," I laughed. If only I'd known. The house was perfect. Pool out back, basketball hoop in the driveway. Damon's eyes actually lit up, seeing it. Maybe, I thought, we could heal here. That first week felt promising. I set up my home office. Damon shot baskets for hours, working through grief with each shot. Imani made friends with the Chen girl 3 doors down. Then I overheard it. Constance's voice carried from her backyard, where she held court with her HOA board. "Property values," she said. "We have to think about property values." Looking back, I should have known right then. We weren't going to get our fresh start. We were about to become Constance Beaumont Fletcher's worst nightmare. And she was about to become ours. 2 weeks. That's all the peace we got. August 2nd, 3:30 p.m.
Damon's bus dropped him at the corner, like always. I watched from my office window as he walked home, backpack heavy with sophomore textbooks, earbuds in, probably listening to that Drake album on repeat. He stopped at our mailbox. Still getting used to the new key, he fumbled with it for maybe 30 seconds, dropped it once, picked it up, tried again. That's when Constance made the call. 911, what's your emergency? Yes, I need police immediately at Cedar Ridge Estates. There's a young black male attempting to break into the mailbox at 1847 Meadowview. He's been tampering with it for several minutes now. I'm concerned he's trying to steal mail or case the house. Ma'am, can you describe? He's wearing a hoodie in this heat. Very suspicious, probably hiding his face. Please hurry, we have children in this neighborhood. 8 minutes later, Officer Rosa Gutierrez pulled up. By then, Damon was in the kitchen making a sandwich. The doorbell sent our German shepherd into a barking frenzy. Dad? Damon called out, but I was on a conference call. He opened the door to find Officer Gutierrez, hand resting on her weapon. We got a report of someone tampering with the mailbox at this address. I live here, Damon said. I was just getting the mail. Can I see some ID? My son, honors student, never in trouble in his life, had to produce ID to prove he lived in his own home. His hands shook as he pulled out his school ID. That's when my call ended and I heard the voices. What's going on? I rushed to the door. Gutierrez relaxed immediately. Mr. Hawkins? Sorry for the disturbance. We got a call about suspicious activity. Suspicious activity? My son checking a mail? I'm really sorry. The caller said... She trailed off, looking embarrassed. Your son's free to go about his day. That's when Constance appeared, power walking across her lawn in Lululemon and righteousness. Officer, is everything all right? I was so worried when I saw this young man at the Hawkins mailbox. This is the Hawkins son, ma'am, Gutierrez said flatly. Constance didn't miss a beat. Oh, well, you can never be too careful. We've had break-ins before. She turned to me with a smile that never reached her eyes. I'm sure you understand, Mr. Hawkins. We look out for each other here. By calling the police on children? I didn't know he was a child. He's so tall for his age. Damon stood 5'8", average for 15. After they left, Damon sat at the kitchen table, still shaking. Dad, I had my key. I was just checking the mail. I know, son. I know. She saw me get off the school bus. How did she not know I lived here? I didn't have an answer that wouldn't break his heart further. Ben Nakamura knocked an hour later. I saw what happened. I'm sorry. Constance has opinions about the neighborhood changing. Changing? You're the first black family on this street. She's been HOA president for 12 years, likes things a certain way. That night, I started a file. 1 page. Time, date, incident, witnesses. Seemed like overkill. 2 weeks in, and Damon stopped checking the mail. September hit different that year. Damon made JV basketball. First good news in months. Coach said he had real potential if he kept practicing. So he did.
Every day after school, our driveway echoed with the rhythmic bounce of basketball on concrete. Xavier Thompson from his team would bike over. Andre Bishop's mom dropped him off. Tyler Chen from down the street joined in. 4 boys shooting hoops, talking trash, being teenagers. The first HOA notice arrived September 18th. Violation, excessive noise, multiple complaints received regarding unauthorized athletic activities. Per Section 4.3.2, recreational sounds shall not exceed ambient levels between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Fine, $50 if not resolved within 72 hours. I called the city. Basketball was explicitly allowed until 9 p.m., no decibel limits for normal play. 3 days later, violation, unauthorized gathering. Commercial athletic training requires HOA approval. Fine, $100. 4 kids shooting hoops. Commercial training? At October's HOA meeting held in the elementary school cafeteria, I came prepared. City ordinances printed, state laws highlighted. These are children playing basketball, I said calmly. Constance sat at the board table like a queen holding court. Mr. Hawkins, we have standards. Constant noise disturbs our residents' peace. Which residents? Ben Nakamura stood up. I live next door.
The boys are never loud. Elena Vasquez Cooper, 3rd grade teacher and board member, nodded. My kids love watching them play. It's nice seeing the driveway used. Safety concerns, Constance pivoted smoothly. Unknown vehicles, strange boys loitering. Those strange boys are honor students. Their parents pick them up. Still, we've had reports of suspicious vehicles. 2 weeks later, squad cars started showing up whenever parents arrived. Officer called in for suspicious vehicle circling the neighborhood, always when a black parent came for pickup. Xavier's mom got pulled over twice. Andre's dad, a Marine veteran, had to show ID 3 times in his own neighborhood. The boys stopped coming. It's cool, Mr. H., Xavier told me. We can practice at school. But I saw Damon's face. Another piece of normal gone. The driveway went quiet. The hoop stood empty. Constance had won round 2. October 15th, 4:47 p.m. That timestamp's burned into my memory.
Damon forgot his algebra textbook. Basketball practice ended early. Coach had a family emergency. Instead of waiting around for the late bus, he caught a ride home with Xavier's older brother. I was on a Zoom call with Shanghai. Imani was at dance class. The house stood empty when Damon walked up our driveway. He pulled out his key, the same key he'd used 100 times. But the lock stuck. Colorado weather had warped the door slightly. He jiggled it, tried again, took off his backpack to get a better angle. Constance was watching. She'd installed a ring camera pointed at our house for neighborhood security. 911, what's your emergency? Active burglary at 1847 Meadowview. Blackmail, approximately 18 to 20 years old, attempting forced entry. He's been trying to break in for several minutes. He keeps looking around, definitely casing the place. Send units immediately. Ma'am, is he armed? He has a large bag. Who knows what's in it? Please hurry. The homeowners aren't home. He's getting aggressive with the door. 3 patrol cars, lights blazing. They screeched onto our quiet street and surrounded my son. Hands up. Move away from the door. Damon froze, key still in his hand. "Drop the weapon!" The key fell. My house key, clattering on our porch. "On the ground, now!" My 15-year-old son, honor student, never been in trouble son, face down on our lawn, guns drawn, neighbors pouring out of houses, someone recording, Mrs. Chen screaming, "He lives there! That's the Hawkins boy!" But protocol is protocol. They cuffed him first, questions later. I got the call from Officer Gutierrez. "Mr. Hawkins, there's been an incident." 45 minutes from downtown Denver, longest drive of my life. My assistant conference calling Shanghai to explain why I vanished, me breaking every speed limit. When I pulled up, Damon was still on the ground, surrounded by cops, face in the grass, cuffed. That's my son. I barely parked before running. "That's my son! He lives here!"
Constance stood on her lawn, arms crossed. "Officers, anyone could claim that. We need proof. Check his ID thoroughly. These people are very clever." "These people?" I spun toward her. 20 years of professional composure gone. "These people!" Ben Nakamura stepped between us. "Constance, you know damn well that's their son. You've seen him every day for 3 months." "He looks older," she insisted. "How was I supposed to?" "You watch our house constantly. You photograph our trash cans. You time how long we check mail. But you don't know my son lives here?" The sergeant arrived, reviewed body cameras, uncuffed Damon. My son stood up slowly. Grass stains on his school polo, tears cutting tracks down his face. Neighbors recording everything. The whole world watching a child's dignity stripped away on his own lawn. He hasn't used the front door since. The video went viral overnight. Black teen handcuffed at his own home. 400,000 views by morning. News vans showed up. We declined interviews. I just wanted Damon to heal. But the neighbors started talking. Grace Wong Patel knocked first. "Terry, we need to compare notes. This isn't isolated." In Ben Nakamura's living room, the pattern emerged. She called the cops on my brother, claimed a strange man was stalking houses. He was helping me install a ceiling fan. The Kumars, pizza delivery, suspicious person, every time. Roberto Morales, my nephew's Queen Sienetta, 40 family members. She reported a gang gathering. Elena Vasquez Cooper pulled out her phone. "I've been documenting. Listen to this." She played a voicemail from Constance. "Your frequent visitors concern us. Perhaps a smaller home would suit your lifestyle better." "How many calls?" I asked. "I did a FOIA request," Ben said quietly, "just for Constance's address." He slid the papers across. 247 calls in 3 years. Suspicious person, 89 times. Possible burglary, 45 times.
Every call traced to families of color. But here's what made my blood run cold. Her previous addresses. 5 different neighborhoods over 15 years. Same pattern. Escalating calls until families moved. "She's done this before," I said. "Gets worse," Ben continued. "The family before you, the Washingtons, she called 73 times in 4 months. They sold at a loss just to escape. Meanwhile, Damon unraveled, wouldn't leave the house alone, quit
basketball, started therapy with Dr. Keisha Robinson, but progress was slow. I can't even walk to school without wondering who's watching, who's calling, he told her. His grades dropped. Friends stopped coming over. Their parents worried about police encounters. Xavier's mom forbade visits after her second traffic stop. I considered moving, checked listings, but housing prices had jumped. We'd lose $60,000 minimum. Constance knew we were trapped. The November HOA meeting was packed. Constance sat up front, smiling. "I've been protecting this neighborhood for 12 years, she announced. "Property values are up 40%. Crime is non-existent. You're welcome." "Because you drove out every black family," Elena stood up. "I follow my instincts, if that offends you." "Your instincts are racist," Ben said flatly. She sued him for defamation the next day. We were at war. November turned brutal. Not the weather, Constance's retaliation. Every petition signer got hit. Ben Nakamura, $50 a day fine. Hedge exceeds height limit by 2 inches. Elena Vasquez Cooper, unauthorized chalk art on driveway. Her daughter's hopscotch. The Morales family, commercial vehicle in residential area. Roberto's F-150 with his contractor logo. I called David Silverman, a civil rights attorney in Denver. "Federal case is tough," he said, reviewing my documentation. "Need to prove pattern of official discrimination. HOA harassment isn't enough. Need police complicity." "She's weaponizing 911. Misdemeanor at best. DAs rarely prosecute. She knows that." Meanwhile, Ben organized quietly. Living room meetings, burner phones. Constance had HOA board members monitoring the Facebook group. 38 families ready to act. But she found out. Doug Whitmore, her lapdog treasurer, spotted Elena's car at Ben's. Next HOA meeting, Constance brought lawyers. "Conspiracy to defame," her attorney announced. "Coordinated harassment of my client. We're prepared to sue each participant individually." "For what?" I stood. "Documenting the truth." "For creating a hostile environment for a volunteer board member." The room erupted. Constance grabbed her phone, dialed 911. "Violence at Cedar Ridge Elementary. Angry mob threatening HOA board. Send units now." 4 squad cars. Again. But this time, Chief Robert Nowak himself responded. He surveyed the room. Families seated quietly, children present, elderly residents with walkers. "Ma'am," he told Constance, "false emergency reports are criminal." They were threatening. "I see concerned citizens at a public meeting." He turned to me. "Mr. Hawkins, file a formal complaint. We'll investigate." Hope, finally. But investigations take time. Winter arrived. Damon, worse, wouldn't even get mail anymore. Dr. Robinson increased sessions. "She's showing signs of PTSD," she told me. "Hypervigilance, avoidance, this is trauma." From his own neighborhood, the place that should be safest. I watched my son disappear. The kid who'd sink free throws for hours now flinched at doorbells, jumped when cars passed, started asking to do school online. Constance won by default. No meetings needed. Families too scared of lawsuits. The resistance crumbled. "We need something bigger," Ben said. "Something undeniable." That's when I had the idea. January 15th, Martin Luther King Day. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. "Dad, I can't do this." Damon sat in my car, hands shaking. 5 minutes, I promise, then it's over. We'd planned for 2 weeks. Ben coordinated neighbors as witnesses. Elena hired a documentary filmmaker, her cousin from Denver. Chief Nowak agreed to monitor personally. Officer Gutierrez would respond to any calls. Simple plan. Damon walks home, uses his key, goes inside. We wait. 4:30 p.m. Damon emerged from Ben's house where he'd been waiting. Slow walk to our door. Deep breath. Key out. Constance watched from her window. He inserted the key, turned it, opened our door, stepped inside. We held our breath. 4:33 p.m. Her call came. 911, armed burglary in progress at 1847 Meadowview. Black male, late teens, just broke in. He's been casing the house for minutes. I saw him reach into his jacket. He has a weapon. Ma'am, can you describe the weapon? Something dark in his hand. Could be a gun. He's definitely armed, moving aggressively. These people are dangerous. Send SWAT. Chief Nowak, listening on speaker, shook his head. What's your name, ma'am? Constance Beaumont Fletcher, HOA resident. I know this family. That is not their son. Their son is younger. This is someone else. These people all lie about their ages. How do you know it's not their son? Because I know their son. This one's different, older, more threatening. They probably sent him to rob the place, insurance fraud. That's what these people do. My hands clenched. Ben put a hand on my shoulder. Units are responding, the dispatcher said. Tell them to hurry and approach carefully. These people are violent, always playing victim, but they're the real criminals. I've been watching them for months. They don't belong here. Watching them? Someone has to. Property values matter. We were a good neighborhood before they came. Now it's suspicious cars, loud music. Who knows what else they're doing in there? Probably drugs. Check for drugs. Officer Gutierrez arrived. No lights, no sirens. Knocked politely. Damon answered. Hi, Officer Gutierrez. Hey, Damon, everything okay? Yes, ma'am, just got home. Constance burst out her door. Arrest him! He broke in. I saw everything. This is his house, Miss Fletcher. That's not the real son. Check his ID. Make him prove it. Ma'am, I've responded to your calls about this young man 17 times. I know who he is. You're covering for them. This is conspiracy. I want another officer. Chief Nowak stepped out of his unmarked car. Miss Fletcher, you reported an armed burglary. Yes, he had a weapon. That weapon? He pointed to Damon's algebra textbook. He was hiding it before. Ma'am, you're under arrest for false reporting. The cameraman captured everything. Her rage, the handcuffs, the neighbors applauding from their driveways. Justice, finally. The arrest video hit 2 million views in 48 hours. HOA Karen arrested after targeting black teen became the lead story on local news. District Attorney Maria Santos didn't mess around. 47 counts of false reporting. 2 counts of providing false information about a weapon.
Each false call carries up to 364 days, she announced. We're seeking maximum penalties. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. 300 residents packed the elementary school gym. Constance's empty president's chair spoke volumes. Motion to remove Constance Beaumont Fletcher, Ben announced. Unanimous. Even Doug Whitmore raised his hand. Motion to elect Benjamin Nakamura as interim president. Elena seconded. Overwhelming approval. First order of business, Ben said. Anti-discrimination policy. Zero tolerance for bias-based complaints. Meanwhile, Constance lawyered up. Posted $50,000 bail. House went on market within a week. Price to sell fast. But the civil suit hit harder. David Silverman filed on our behalf. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Civil rights violations. The evidence was overwhelming. Her deposition was a disaster. She claimed she couldn't tell black teenagers apart. Said Damon looked suspicious naturally. Argued that property values justified vigilance. Her own lawyer winced. March brought resolution. Plea deal. 6 misdemeanors, 18 months probation, $25,000 restitution. No jail time. First offense, elderly, pillar of the community. It's not enough, I told David. It never is, but she's done. Banned from HOA positions, flagged in the 911 system, moving to Arizona. You won. Did we? Damon returned to basketball slowly. Teammates welcomed him back, made varsity by spring. But he still wouldn't use the front door, still flinched when police cars passed. The neighborhood changed. Ben implemented community dinners. Elena started a diversity committee. New families moved in. The Okonkwo's from Nigeria, the Ngyens opening a restaurant nearby. Some neighbors remained cold. Caused unnecessary drama, they muttered. Property values did dip briefly, down 3% after the news coverage. But something else grew. Xavier's mom stopped by. Thank you for fighting. The Kumars invited us for Diwali. Roberto Morales fixed our gate, refused payment. Neighbors help neighbors. Not the fresh start I'd imagined, but maybe the one we needed. Dad, Damon said one evening, shooting hoops, think things will really change? I watched him sink a three-pointer. Still healing, still here. Yeah, son, slowly, but yeah. 6 months later, I sat in Dr. Robinson's waiting room while Damon had his session. Through the door, I could hear his laugh, rare but returning. Progress, she told me after, but trauma doesn't follow timelines. Truth. Damon made varsity captain, but still wouldn't answer the door. Got into National Honors Society, but walked the long way home to avoid Constance's old house. Some wounds cut deeper than others. The Nguyen family bought her place. Their daughter joined Amani's dance class. Life moved forward, but ghosts lingered. Should we have moved? I asked Ben one evening. We'd become close. Trauma bonds are real. Running doesn't fix anything, he said. You taught this neighborhood something. Maybe. The new HOA policies held. Complaints required evidence now. 911 calls got reviewed. Small steps, but steps. Not everyone learned. Barbara Frost still clutched her purse when black delivery drivers came. Roger Henley muttered about declining standards at every meeting. Some hearts won't change. But last week, something happened. Damon was shooting hoops when a patrol car pulled up. My heart stopped. He froze. Officer Gutierrez stepped out. "Nice form? You practicing for scouts?" "Yes, ma'am." His voice steady. "Good luck." She drove off. He kept playing. Didn't run inside. Didn't call me. Just kept playing. Small victory. Everything we had. Cedar Ridge Estates isn't perfect. Neither is America. Change comes slow. In drop charges, new policies, one kid feeling safe in his driveway. Constance Beaumont Fletcher thought she owned this neighborhood. Thought fear was her right. Thought those people would run like always. She thought wrong. My son lives here. We live here. And despite everything, because of everything, we're staying. That's our revolution, refusing to disappear. Damon at the door now, finally using his key without fear. That's enough. For today, that's enough.